Hey guys, it's me Flower. Today I'm going to be giving you all of my favorite tips and tricks for building an Adopt Me for you to upgrade your puppy homes in the big 2026. Let's get right into it. This first tip is how you make a super cute little panda beanbag chair. This is one of my favorite hacks, and I'm pretty sure as of early 2024 I've used this in every single one of my homes. But first you're obviously going to grab a beanbag because it's a panda beanbag chair, and you're going to color it white because we're doing a panda. I'm going to make the walls this snowflake pattern just so you can see the white better, but literally any white, it just has to be, you can tell that it's white. So now what you're going to want to do is discs are going to play a huge part. So you're going to want to grab a disc, and it literally doesn't matter. It could be a large disc. I personally recommend just buying the smaller disc. You can just size it up anyways. It doesn't really matter. They're both the same price. I usually size up the beanbag chair a little bit too because the head looks humongous compared to the beanbag chair. This is going to be our base, but we're done with all the white parts for now. What you're going to want to do is grab another disc, put it kind of a little farther out. It's kind of hard to explain, but put it on top of the disc and then push it inwards to the wall. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure they're pretty symmetrical. Kind of size them down the same. You can size them up and down as much as you please. This is just one of my favorite ways to do this because I just think it looks nicest. And I just push it slightly in, and those are going to be colored black as the little black parts of a panda bear. Also, you can do this with literally any bear. It could be a brown bear. I just really like doing this with pandas because they're my favorite bear besides polar bears, but I feel like if I did this with a polar bear, it would just look kind of weird. So we're going to go ahead and use some of these little cute bricks, which why am I saying they're cute? They're literally just bricks. But you're going to grab some bricks, put them on the wall, kind of angle them upwards, and then do the same thing, but angle them downwards. So it kind of looks like the panda is sitting. You can position the arms however you want. This is just the easiest way for me and what I think looks the cutest. And you're going to color those the same color as you colored the ears, so black for me. But you could do a brown bear, polar bear. You can even do a pink panda bear. That would be actually really cute. I should do that next time. Whoops, I accidentally did that. Okay, then you're going to color the other foot black, and you basically have everything done. But I'm going to go ahead and add a face. I mean, I guess you don't necessarily have to do this for people to tell it's a panda bear, but it definitely helps. So you're going to add another disc. Discs are playing a huge part in building this panda bear. Size it almost all the way down. I think I sized it all the way down here. I'm not exactly sure. But you're going to grab it again, size it all the way down, or maybe a little bigger, just depending. But I think this spacing and this size for the eyeballs looks super cute. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to grab another disc for the nose. This part I really love doing because I think it just looks so cute. I sized it all the way down for the nose. You can leave it here, but I like to add a little mouth. So I grab a rope, and I just grab one of those straight ones. Make sure it's not hanging. Unless you want to do a little smiley face, then you can. But I like to do mine just with a straight blink face because I think it just looks cutest in my house, and I can't really figure out how to do the smiley face. So you can size it down up as much as you want. I personally think it looks good whenever it's on the smallest size. You're going to push it a little into the nose and then make it black. This is the first half of the mouth. Size it all the way down again on the other rope and position it pretty symmetrically. You're going to want to try to make this as accurate as possible on both sides. And ta-da, it's done. This next hack really only works on railings, but I personally like using the ruler's castle for this hack the most. But you're just going to search up light or string. I just like searching up light because I can look through and find the exact ones I want. And what you're going to do is just grab, I'm not exactly sure which one to just grab because I'm voiceovering this, and I'm not exactly paying attention because I'm doing all these hand motions because it helps me talk easier. But you're just going to want to back it, I don't know if that makes sense, but back it all the way up to the railing to where it's basically touching, and then you're going to move it upwards so that way it's touching each of the poles that connect to the wood. This doesn't go for every railing, but I'm just going to speed this part up because it's taking too long. But right now, I'm just doing the same thing on every wooden beam, And I think this looks super cute. You can color them however you want, adjust them however you want. But this is 100% my favorite, one of my favorites build hacks, because it's just so easy to do and it looks really, really nice. This next one is a bathroom build hack, and I have this in my house now. If you guys ever, I don't know if you guys ever see me go into my bathroom in my new house, but basically what you're going to do is just grab a hot tub. You can use the futuristic one, but I think this one looks nicest and it's cheaper. I don't know, you can color it however you want, it doesn't really matter. Then you're going to want to grab these catwalk stairs and size them down to where they fit the walls of the hot tub, and you're going to kind of want to back them up a little so that way they're touching the hot tub, and make them the exact size. And if you put it on like the 1/10 grid, you get the exact size. The color of the hot tub actually doesn't really matter because you're covering it with the catwalk stairs anyways, but you can color it how you want in case like a little bit of the wood peeks through. But now what you're going to want to do, you just color the stairs how you want. This doesn't really matter. You're going to want to grab some flowers. This part is actually optional. Put them on the bottom or like the floor and then move them upwards, and you can have some little flowers floating around your hot tub. This is 100% optional, but I just think this looks nicest. It adds a nice little touch. You can add other stuff floating around, like you can add like a little board and like put a book on it so that you have like a little reading space, but this is sped up because it was taking far too long, and this video is already over 20 minutes, so that was just not gonna work out for me. But basically what I just did is I just scaled them up. Also, it looks kind of weird if you just look at the glass, but that's why we just gotta like turn our blinders on, you know? Just focus on the positive, don't focus on the negative. Okay, now what you're gonna want to do is grab a bird bath, and you can like leave the little actual bird bath part out, but I like to just put it where the water is flowing because it annoys me whenever you can see it through. But now you have like these two little showers. Also, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I think it definitely improves the look of your hot tub. It makes it look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. But now what you're going to want to do, optional as well, is grab this little cone ceiling light, put it on the ceiling, and color it how you want, doesn't necessarily matter. Kind of make sure it's like directly above. This part just looks nice because there's like a little overhead light in the hot tub, but this is the finished results. This next hack is smaller, but you can add more things onto it. You're going to want to have your kitchen counters like this, so cabinets on top and then the actual counters on the bottom. You're going to want to get a finish line checkered rug and move it slightly into the wall so that way you can't like see the actual rug. You can just see like part of the squares, not like the full puffed out squares, just like to where it looks like what's on the screen. And you can also add a ton of stuff to this. This is basically the whole build hack. It's very small, but I like to add like a little oven. You can add other stuff too. You can add like a chopping board around it. You can add a knife block, anything you want, just to like make it look nicer. I use this in almost every single one of my houses. I have houses from like I don't even know how long ago, but I was using stuff like that. And then you can also grab like oven hoods and then put it on top of the cabinets and have just like a nice, cute, aesthetically pleasing little tile behind your oven. This is similar to the last hack, but basically it's a very simple bedroom hack, but you can add more things onto it depending on what you want to. So basically, honestly, any bed, it just can't be like a super fancy one. I'm just gonna use this cheap basic one because it works best with this hack, but you can use any bed. Just make sure it doesn't have like a thick blanket at the bottom or like too much stuff on it. Make sure it's like kind of what your bed would look like. Would you have like a huge dome over your bed, like the Biodome bed? No, so like it needs to look kind of like this. I added 2 because this is what this hack is used for. You can use it for just 1, but double bed definitely works best, so a pretty large bed. Then you can add these little mirrors behind it, which I think makes a super cute wall art, and then push them into the wall slightly to where you can just see the LED ring. I think this makes a super cute little wall art. You can overlap them, space them, add as many as you want. You can size them up, size them down. I really love this hack, and Isla actually showed me it, so I know it's good because she is an amazing builder. She needs to show you some of the beach houses she built because, oh my goodness, they're actually insane. She doesn't even like use references or anything. She just does it. It's actually crazy. I could never. You're gonna want to grab this little dining table and make it a bit smaller. Move it. Actually, don't make it smaller. Just move it down a little bit, and you can color it however you want. So this is gonna kind of act as like a little blanket at the end of the bed. So like a little pullover, but like you just fold it during the day, so that way it's just tidied and aesthetically pleasing, as most hacks in this video are. But I really, really love this because I think it just looks super nice. My bed in my house doesn't have this, but I think it looks super cute and very, very nice. This is a living room hack. Sorry for the awful like picnic blanket transition. That was way too fast. But I really love using this extravagant sofa. This is definitely going to be the one that you're going to want to use for this hack. Any other one just doesn't really work out too well. So definitely use this extravagant sofa. It's only $56. And you're going to want to grab these tall potion mushrooms and kind of move them over to where the actual pillows are on the couch, like that come with the couch. And just color them however you want. It doesn't really matter. You can play around with the colors a little bit. It just has to look not like mushrooms, basically. These are going to act as cute little like rounded pillows. I really wish they had those little knot pillows. Like it looks like this. It's like these little knots. I don't know how to describe it, but I wish they had that in Adopt Me. It would make my building so much easier and so aesthetically pleasing. I really, really need those. Adopt Me, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, since I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. But please add this in the game. I need this. Okay, sorry about that little rant. But you can size them down, size them up, color them however you want. It doesn't really matter. It just make sure they don't look like red sore thumb chickens with their heads cut off running around mushrooms. And you can grab this is optional because it's quite pricey, but what you're going to want to do is grab a display, and you're going to want to grab the pet display. It's $700, which is quite unaffordable for Adopt Me. But you can add any pet. Definitely size it down because you don't want it to look like there's a display stand there. You want it to look like a pet. Your pet is just like chillaxing. Ooh, that one was really cringe. That sent me. Okay. Make it look basically like it's not there. And then you can add any pet. Should I add the axolotl? I feel like it doesn't really look that good. I could add aqua, but I feel like it doesn't really look like they're laying down. Okay, I'm just gonna... Okay, I need to stop overcomplicating things. I'm just gonna add this majestic pony. But I think this is a super cute hack, and Isla showed me this again, and it looks really nice and aesthetically pleasing. Most lamps in-game all give off a different color light. This hack is mainly for preppies or modern builders or like cozy builders. I don't really know how to describe it, but basically if your house has like a warm, cozy aesthetic, you can use a penguin lamp for this one. I'm going to be using a unicorn lamp because I use this hack in my house and it made my all pink house definitely look a lot better with the lighting. So what you're going to do is grab a rope. I've been yapping, so I kind of missed that part, but grab a rope, color it however you want. I'm going to color it how it's colored in my house. You're going to grab a cylinder and scale it down a little bit. Color it however you want. Preferably the light. So this unicorn lamp gives off a pink light. So preferably you want to color this pink so that way it looks like it's just naturally glowing the pink color that it is. And so I'm just going to color this pink because I think it looks nice, and this is my favorite shade of pink. It's like a bubblegum. And you're going to grab your unicorn lamp, obviously, and then put it in the center of the rope and move it upwards. Okay, its butt is sticking out, but make sure it doesn't do that. And it basically will give off a pink light instead of a white light or a yellowish light. So let me make it nighttime. But yeah, so see, as you can see, it gives off a pink light instead of a white light, which I've said a million times by now. So if I put it next to this, I think it's called a deluxe lamp, I'm not really sure. It's probably not. I'll have myself editing this roast me on that. But yeah, this is really cute and basically what saved my ruler's castle from not looking utterly terrible, but here are the results. You can use the unicorn lamps and replace them with penguin lamps. Basically, it's just to give off the glow. This is another Isla hack. I'm going to start having a term called Isla hack, meaning I learned it from Isla because I'm seeing her build so much, and she's so good. I'm never going to be that good. But basically, what you're going to do is grab a basic mirror. I think any mirror works. It just make sure it doesn't have like a ton of cuts in it like the fancy mirror. Make sure it's a pretty like solid mirror to like you can see the whole thing. Mine doesn't look very like shiny to where you can see all the clouds right now. It just looks bland unless you go over here. But that's not important, but it does look a lot better whenever it's like that. But that's not important right now. Basically, now I would recommend setting your house to daytime with this because then it doesn't go black. So how you do that is just you click the little sun button next to the grid, and it like makes your house, the lighting constantly be what it looks like in Adopt Me day. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Add 2 glass barriers, or 3, 4, depending on how wide your mirror is. Okay guys, it's currently a lot later on this voiceover, so I'm gonna have to talk a little quieter. But basically, what you're gonna want to do is whatever color you're coloring the trees is gonna be the color of the ground. It's like I'm coloring my trees green, so I'm making the ground just generally green. I cut that part out so that way you guys don't have to see the dreadful process of me just adding a mound, sizing it down, adding another mound, sizing it down, and purchasing another one. It was just a really long process. Also, sorry if you could not hear me at all because it's so late, but it doesn't matter because I'm doing this for you guys and I have to finish this video because I filmed another video which took time out of me editing this video. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, now you're gonna grab your trees. I like using the pointy trees, but you can just use a wide variety. I'm gonna use a wide variety. I'm just gonna add like all the trees and play around with the colors a little bit. This part is kind of pointless, but the video was gonna be too short if I didn't show this part, so I just decided to show this anyways. But basically what you're gonna do is just play around with the tree colors, color them differently, and size them up and down. Okay, I've changed around with some different greens, and I think it looks pretty decent right now. I'm kind of liking it. This is in 6.7, that wasn't intentional, time speed, but basically I was just coloring the trees so you guys can see the process. You honestly should probably add the glass barriers last because you're just gonna have to go around the barriers and color the trees and move them anyways. But I wasn't thinking clearly because this was recorded at actually I don't even have an excuse. I don't know why I did that because this was recorded at 3 p.m. and that's the middle of the day for me. So I don't know why I said that because there's literally no excuse for me just not thinking straight. But yeah, so I just colored the trees. I actually am really liking this arrangement. I wish I could keep it in this house, but this house is going to be for all my build hack videos and just some other stuff like filming shorts and things like that. So that's the tree hack. This hack, it works best if you have high ceilings. You can, because you're going to have 2 rows of bookshelves, but this hack is just giving Belle vibes, and Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite Disney movies, so I saw this hack on Moody Unicorn Twin. I used to watch her and Santa all the time. But basically, what you're going to do is grab these bookshelves, and then you're going to grab another, I'm just going to use 3 because it works best, and you're going to grab another 3 and put them on top, or just however many you're doing on the bottom row. I'm just going to say 3 because I can't refer that however many you're doing on the bottom row over and over. But this part is this is a really, really simple build hack, but I think it's super cute. So basically, now that you have this little setup, you can arrange it however you want, color however you want, but that's just going to take too much time for me to color all the books. You're going to grab a little, I think it's called a ladder shelf. I just fell through my own custom DIY floor. Amazing. So basically, now that you have this little shelf, this is going to act as the little ladder, kind of like that Belle would slide on, basically. And you just have a cute little bookshelf with a ladder so you can reach to the other books, which is very cute and aesthetically pleasing. Someone needs to count how many times I said aesthetically pleasing. I say this like every video. Someone needs to count how many times I've said someone needs to count. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. But this is a little bathroom hack, as this can go in the like same room as your little hot tub. It can be like a whole cute little mummy, you know? It's late. I need to go to bed, but I need to finish this video first for you guys. So you're going to have little counters. It doesn't matter which counter, but these are free, and I'm losing a lot of money doing this, so I'm just gonna use these counters. And also, I think the color's nice. Then what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna, instead of searching up a sink, what you're gonna do is you're gonna search up oval pet bathtub, and it's gonna be like a cute little oval sink. This is also a really tiny build hack, but I think this looks super cute because not only can it work as like a custom little bath for your pet or like you as a baby, but it makes a super cute little decorative sink. Guess who forgot to film an outro? But anyways, guys, that's all for today's video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys!